Welcome back to the reporting room. Today we have Dr. Kiri and Dr. Amanda having a chat with us, and we're talking about incidental findings in whole body MRI. And it's causing a bit of a stir. And I really want to dive in and talk about what the stir is all about. Like,
Yeah,
why are
of
people
course.
talking about incidental findings so much?
Yes, I think it's a really important topic. And there's a well-established narrative in the healthcare profession about the negatives of full body MRI because it could lead to a large number of incidental findings. But I do think that the term may be misused or over applied in this situation because technically incidental findings are unexpected discoveries of like a lesion or unexpected discovery when you're investigating, you're doing an investigation for something else.
And you find something as well or alongside.
Yeah. So, like if you're, for example, if you were going to do a lung screen
Yeah.
or doing a lung test, a chest CT, and then inadvertently detected a kidney stone, the kidney stone would be the incidental finding.
Okay. So another little anatomical quirk would
Yeah.
be classed as an
Yeah.
incidental finding.
Yeah,
So-
but that incidental finding on a chest CT could also be breast cancer.
Yeah. Okay.
You're looking for a PE.
You're looking for something
And you found-
completely different.
Correct. But in a whole body MRI,
Yeah.
when you are looking for cancer, you're looking for endometriosis, you're looking for cysts, you're looking for so much.
Neurodegenerative or something like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Everybody's classifying everything almost as an incidental finding when we were actually looking for it.
That's right. Because isn't that the whole point of it as a whole body MRI? You're looking for things that aren't meant to be there.
In most cases. Amanda?
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, I would sort of argue that the whole point of it is mostly for cancer screening.
Okay.
And that being able to identify like neurodegenerative disease is really just a consequence of using a whole body MRI. But everyone's perception is let's learn as much as we want to know. And I think it definitely has a place, but really what doctors are more concerned about is not necessarily incidental findings, but it's more indeterminate findings, perhaps, or something that would require further investigation because you're not sure. It's not the definitive kidney stone. It's not the renal cyst. It's I don't know what this is. The radiologist is uncertain. And so therefore what happens is a cascade of further imaging and biopsy, which, fair enough. Like I totally agree that more imaging and more biopsies isn't always benefiting the patient, especially when the finding on the full body MRI was indeterminate and you had to go down this whole path because what if it is cancer and then it turns out to not be cancer? And so there's risks of biopsies and that sort of thing.
Okay. So interesting. Yeah. I like that you're breaking that down because obviously not everyone would really know the difference between incidental and indeterminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And alongside indeterminate is false positives.
Yeah.
And the narrative really does make sense. Like I get why, because right now the literature is so vague about the utility of full body MRI in asymptomatic people. Like if you look at the literature at the moment, there is a huge range of imaging protocols that have been used in asymptomatic people. It ranges from a 1.5 T MRI with diffusion imaging to 3T to 20 minutes to 50 minutes. All of these things impact sensitivity and accuracy. So what recent studies have done is in 2019 and then again in 2020.
We'll link these below, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone that's interested.
Is what these studies have done is grouped all of these independent studies together and said, well, let's draw a conclusion from this. And really, if you are, if you're science-minded, like myself, you can't draw meaningful conclusions from this. And even the authors in the paper said there is far too much variation in this, really. So the conclusion, if you're like everyone else and you're just trying to stay up to date in the literature, you kind of look at the abstract, you read the intro, and then you skip the methods, and then you look at the conclusion. Well, the conclusion of these studies are indeterminate findings are significant, and this could cause a lot of harm, raising all these alarm bells. And of course, the medical community really wants to benefit the patient, and they're evidence-based, and they're looking at this evidence and they're saying, whoa, a full body MRI is bad. This is finding too many indeterminate things and causing all of this. But really, it's about the technology.
The level of how good it is.
Yeah. It's because all of those things, sensitivity and accuracy, are dependent on the scan protocol, but you can't assess it as a tool when the scan protocol is all over the place.
Yeah. Not one size fits all.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I agree completely. So accuracy is not random. It is based on what you are doing, how you are doing it, what machines you're using, whether your protocols have been calibrated, and there is a vast range of capability out there. And the problem is that although there are guidelines in literature, there's no mandate for people to meet these.
I find that really interesting.
It's actually really scary.
It is a bit.
Yep.
It's medicine. Like, how come this isn't mandated? Why are coffee shops mandated and the medical industry isn't tightly? Let's not go there.
I don't know. Another episode, yeah.
Okay. So in summary, we're saying we're not super scared about the incidental findings.
I would like people to stop saying incidental findings. Personally, the big concern whenever I have spoken to any referrer or when I've spoken to audiences and asked them like what the pushback is, despite them not fully understanding that not all whole body MRIs are the same, the big alarm bells are over what they're calling incidental findings, but what they really mean is indeterminate findings. They're worried about additional testing. They're worried about the anxiety with finding something and it needing more testing to clarify.
Yes. When it could end up being nothing and it causes stress to the patient, essentially.
Correct.
And cost, etc.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, and we will talk about it a little later, the alarm bells are all absolutely focused on whole body MRI and these indeterminate findings. But every test we do has limitations. Every test we do has indeterminate findings.
Yeah. Nothing's 100%.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the more accurate the scan is and the better the sequences are performed, then MRI is actually a really good camera for characterizing lesions.
I've heard that.
If done well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like personally I would want to know, even if it ended up being nothing. I think that would be better to take that chance of it being something and then going, oh, I found it. Oh, no, it's okay. It's nothing.
Yeah.
That would put my mind at ease. But I mean, it depends on individuals, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. Absolutely. Some people would rather have not known.
Yeah. So it's added something that they didn't really need to know about. Yeah.
But don't forget, this is also elective. So it's about informed consent. They also need to be aware that
this could happen.
This could happen.
Yeah.
And providers also need to be aware that the likelihood of this happening also dramatically increases with age.
Yes.
So there is no point in doing your very first whole body MRI on, actually I got a call from a patient she was 90 years old.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
I politely said, not the test for you.
We might find a few indeterminate findings.
Well, more than indeterminate findings for that particular patient. And at that age, it's also things that won't change her lifespan.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
I love that topic.
we will get onto that one.
Yeah.
Another one for another time.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's not the right scan for a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, my big takeaway from all of this is I just think the narrative needs to be around, rather than saying incidental findings, indeterminate findings, if that's what you're actually concerned about.
Yeah.
And there needs to be awareness raised that that cohort of issues is strongly affected by the way the scan is done and who is doing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I think another important thing, my sister is kind of like a GP in America, and I was having a chat with her, and I think one of her initial reactions to full body MRI was, I don't know how to read MRI. I don't know what to do with all these findings. How do I know what needs to be followed up?
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about this evolution of full body MRI is I think in 2021, there was something called OncoRads that has been kind of developed that
Do you wanna
standardize.
Touch on that just a little bit in this.
Yeah,
Yeah?
just touching on it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a part of the problem with
Yeah.
indeterminate findings and why the medical community is so up
Cool.
in arms in this. But OncoRads is really helping guide the receiving doctor of all these findings on what to follow up on. So it's kind of a scoring system of findings. So it kind of takes that burden off, which I think is, it's not publicly said, but in the medical community and the GPs that are getting these referrals for these scans and getting the reports, typically for some full body providers, it's just, here's all the findings.
Yeah.
But it's so helpful when you can say, here's the likelihood of malignancy and here's the recommended follow-up. It takes the pressure off of the GP. And so that's something that's really important that's been implemented for some providers, not all of them, but I think that's going to also revolutionize the space as well.
So it makes
Current guidelines recommend that that's also done.
Yeah.
So that's also not being followed. So this is the thing, there are guidelines out there.
Yeah. But
And
they're only
people-
guidelines. So
And the guidelines,
yeah.
and look, to be honest with you, I don't think some providers are even aware of them, let alone following them.
Yeah.
But that's another
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is. And I think that for doctors to have some kind of a rating system of the results and a
Yeah.
broken down sort of report, it must be super helpful for them to give that feedback to their patients.
The last thing I wanted to say is that it is funny, though, how so much of the conversation focuses on, what they would say incidental findings, but really indeterminate findings or false positives. And that really makes sense because that type of information can be published easily. Something indeterminate on a full body scan, you can follow it up quickly with an ultrasound and then a biopsy and know that that was a false positive, and boom, whole body MRI is bad.
That's
but
juicy one.
But what I think no one's talking about is, and also related to the technical accuracy of the scan, is false negatives, which is really kind of curious space.
Yeah. That's a big one, isn't it?
That is a huge one.
Everybody is talking about what they're calling incidental findings, but usually they mean indeterminate findings. But what about the cancer that is there that isn't being detected because the scan was performed so poorly that it missed it?
Well, okay. We need to hold that one up for a next episode because that's a whole subject on its own.
She's
isn't
been
it?
triggered.
Careful. It sounds like you're passionate about that one, Kiri.
I am.
That's okay. We can chat more about it, but I just think we should wrap up today because we had a really good chat about incidental, indeterminate findings. Incidental / indeterminate findings. Put a line through it, yeah. We just get rid of that word off the dictionary. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks again for your time,
Thanks,
ladies,
Carly.
and I look forward to next time, and have a great day.
Yep.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya.